Right now, above our heads and beneath our feet, nature is running systems more complex than anything humans have ever built. Invisible corridors of water vapor are moving oceans through the sky. Millions of animals are navigating the airs of our planet. In today's journey, we'll uncover astonishing nature facts from massive sky rivers known as atmospheric rivers to the hidden forest connections formed by mycorrhizal network, revealing how Earth's most powerful systems work together. High above the clouds, enormous streams of moisture are constantly flowing through the atmosphere, yet we rarely notice them. Scientists call these powerful corridors atmospheric rivers, and they function like invisible waterways in the sky. Instead of liquid water, they carry highly concentrated bands of water vapor stretching thousands of miles across the planet. When visualized on satellite maps, these narrow plumes appear like long ribbons connecting tropical oceans to distant continents. Most atmospheric rivers begin over warm ocean regions where sunlight heats the sea surface and drives large-scale evaporation. As water vapor rises into the lower atmosphere, strong wind currents gather this moisture into organized streams. These currents act like high-altitude conveyor belts, transporting enormous volumes of vapor across entire ocean basins. In some cases, a single atmospheric river can carry several times more moisture than major surface rivers. What makes these systems remarkable is their efficiency. Even though they are only a few hundred miles wide, atmospheric rivers can stretch for thousands of miles, channeling moisture from equatorial waters toward higher latitudes. As the vapor travels, it becomes part of a global circulation system that redistributes water around the Earth. When these moisture corridors reach land, they often deliver large amounts of rain or snow, especially when they encounter mountain ranges that force the air to rise and cool. This process helps replenish reservoirs, rivers, and seasonal snowpacks that supply fresh water to many regions. In other words, atmospheric rivers are not rare anomalies, they are essential components of the planet's water cycle. By quietly transporting moisture across vast distances, they help balance Earth's climate system and ensure that water continues to circulate between oceans, atmosphere, and land. Warm ocean surfaces act like giant energy engines for Earth's weather. When sunlight heats the sea, enormous amounts of water begin to evaporate, turning liquid water into invisible vapor that rises into the atmosphere. This process stores energy inside the moisture itself. The warmer the ocean surface becomes, the faster evaporation occurs, feeding the atmosphere with water vapor that later becomes clouds, storms, and rainfall across distant regions. But evaporation alone does not move weather across the planet. The real drivers are differences in atmospheric pressure. Air naturally flows from areas of high pressure toward areas of lower pressure, creating powerful air currents that push large masses of moist air across oceans and continents. These pressure gradients act like global steering forces, organizing weather systems and directing where moisture travels next. Far above these systems, powerful high-altitude wind currents, known as the jet stream, function as fast-moving atmospheric highways. These narrow bands of wind can reach speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour and guide storm systems across entire continents. As weather patterns interact with the jet stream, they gain structure and direction, helping meteorologists track the movement of major weather events days in advance. Another key factor is a simple law of atmospheric physics. Warmer air can hold more water vapor. For every small increase in temperature, the atmosphere's moisture capacity rises significantly. This means that when warm air masses gather moisture over the ocean, they carry a larger potential for rainfall once that air cools and condenses. Together, ocean heat, pressure differences, and high-speed wind currents form an interconnected system that controls how moisture moves around the planet. These physical processes explain how energy from the ocean eventually becomes clouds, rain, and snow, linking distant oceans directly to the weather we experience on land. Mountains do far more than shape landscapes. They actively transform the weather. When moisture-filled air travels across the land and encounters a mountain range, it has only one path forward, upward. This process is known as orographic lift, and it is one of the most important mechanisms behind heavy rainfall and snowfall in many regions of the world. As moist air rises along a mountain slope, the surrounding atmospheric pressure decreases. This causes the air to expand and cool rapidly. Cooler air cannot hold as much water vapor as warm air, so the excess moisture begins to condense into tiny droplets, forming thick clouds. As the process continues, those droplets grow larger and eventually fall as rain or snow. In some mountain regions, this lifting effect can produce intense precipitation within a relatively short time. At higher elevations, temperatures often remain low enough for the condensed moisture to fall as snow instead of rain. Over the winter months, these snowfalls accumulate into large seasonal snowpacks. When temperatures warm during spring and early summer, the snow gradually melts, releasing fresh water into rivers and reservoirs. This natural storage system supplies drinking water, supports agriculture, and helps sustain ecosystems throughout the year. Mountains also influence where moisture ends up. The side of a mountain range that faces incoming moist air, often called the windward side, typically receives abundant rainfall and supports forests and lush vegetation. On the opposite side, the descending air becomes warmer and drier after crossing the peaks. This effect can create what scientists call a rain shadow region, where deserts or dry grasslands often develop. Through these simple physical processes, mountain ranges quietly shape local climates and control how water is distributed across entire landscapes. In many parts of the world, a single powerful weather system can supply a large portion of the year's fresh water. One of the most important of these systems is the atmospheric river, a concentrated corridor of water vapor that transports moisture from warm ocean regions toward land. When these systems reach coastal areas, they can deliver steady rainfall that replenishes rivers, reservoirs, and groundwater supplies. In regions with seasonal dry climates, a few well-timed storms can provide a significant share of the annual water resources that communities rely on. However, the same process that brings valuable rainfall can also create challenges if conditions align in certain ways. Flood events typically develop when large amounts of rain fall within a short period of time, especially when the ground is already saturated or when snowpack begins to melt simultaneously. Rivers and drainage systems can only carry a limited volume of water,
So when rainfall exceeds that capacity, excess water spreads across surrounding land. Understanding these conditions helps scientists and planners prepare for extreme weather events while still recognizing the essential role these storms play in the natural water cycle. For agriculture, accurate forecasting of these systems is especially important. Farmers depend on predictable water supplies for irrigation, soil moisture, and crop growth. Reliable rainfall can support healthy harvests, while unexpected storms can disrupt planting schedules or delay fieldwork. Water managers in cities face similar challenges, balancing the need to store enough water for dry periods while ensuring reservoirs have room to safely capture incoming rainfall. Modern forecasting tools are making this task more precise. Weather satellites, ocean monitoring systems, and advanced computer models allow scientists to track atmospheric moisture streams days before they reach land. By analyzing temperature, wind patterns, and ocean conditions, meteorologists can estimate when and where these moisture corridors will arrive. This early insight helps communities manage water resources more effectively while reducing risks associated with sudden weather changes.
Across oceans, forests, and open skies, enormous groups of animals move together with astonishing coordination. Flocks of birds twist through the air, schools of fish turn in perfect unison, and swarms of insects shift direction almost instantly. What makes these movements remarkable is that there is usually no central leader guiding the group. Instead, scientists explain this phenomenon through a principle called swarm intelligence, a natural system where complex group behavior emerges from simple local interactions between individuals. Each animal in the group follows a small set of basic rules. Rather than monitoring the entire swarm, an individual typically responds only to a handful of nearby neighbors. By adjusting speed, distance, and direction based on those nearby companions, the entire group maintains a coordinated structure. These tiny adjustments, repeated thousands of times every second across the swarm, create the appearance of a single fluid organism moving through the environment. One of the most impressive aspects of this system is how effectively it prevents collisions. Even when thousands of animals occupy the same space, they rarely crash into one another. Researchers have discovered that animals maintain safe spacing by constantly balancing three simple behaviors: staying close enough to the group, avoiding crowding, and aligning their movement with nearby neighbors. These rules allow large groups to remain stable even during rapid turns or sudden changes in direction. Moving together also provides important survival benefits. For many species, large groups make it harder for predators to single out one target. At the same time, collective movement allows animals to search for food more efficiently across large areas. When one part of the group detects a promising direction, that information spreads quickly through the swarm. Through these elegant natural rules, millions of individuals can coordinate their behavior, demonstrating how simple interactions can produce remarkably organized systems in the natural world.
Just before sunset in many parts of the world, the sky can transform into a living pattern as thousands of birds sweep across the horizon in synchronized waves. These mesmerizing formations are known as murmurations, most famously performed by the starling. At first glance, the movement appears almost choreographed, as if the flock shares a single mind guiding every turn and shift in direction. Scientists studying these formations discovered something surprising. Each bird does not monitor the entire flock. Instead, research shows that an individual starling typically tracks only about 7 of its closest neighbors. By adjusting its position based on the movement of these nearby birds, the entire group remains connected. This simple interaction rule allows thousands of birds to maintain cohesion while moving at high speeds. Another key discovery involves the concept of topological distance. Rather than focusing on exact physical spacing, birds pay attention to their relative positions within the group. Whether the flock expands or compresses, each bird continues responding to the same nearby companions. This flexible system keeps the formation stable even as the flock stretches across large sections of sky. When one bird changes direction, that movement spreads through the flock in a rapid chain reaction. Like ripples moving across the surface of water, directional changes travel as waves through the entire group. Within fractions of a second, thousands of birds can shift direction together without collisions or confusion. There is also a practical advantage to flying this way. Coordinated group movement can reduce aerodynamic effort by allowing birds to take advantage of subtle air currents created by nearby wings. Over long distances, this efficiency may help conserve energy. Through a small set of behavioral rules and precise spatial awareness, these flocks create one of nature's most captivating aerial displays, an elegant demonstration of geometry and coordination unfolding in the open sky.
Under the right environmental conditions, a quiet landscape can suddenly fill with movement as thousands of insects begin traveling together in a coordinated wave. Among the most studied examples are swarms of the locust, which have become a powerful natural model for understanding how group behavior forms in the animal world. What makes these swarms scientifically fascinating is that they begin with individuals that normally live alone. When rainfall increases vegetation and food becomes temporarily abundant, locust populations can grow quickly. As their numbers rise, the insects begin encountering each other more frequently. These repeated interactions trigger changes in behavior, gradually shifting the insects from a solitary lifestyle into a social phase. Once enough individuals gather together, collective movement begins to emerge. Scientists have discovered that simple feedback loops drive this process. Each insect responds to the movement of nearby neighbors, adjusting its direction to stay aligned with the group while maintaining a comfortable distance. When thousands of individuals follow the same basic rules, the result is a large-scale movement pattern that can travel across wide landscapes. These feedback loops create a self-organizing system where coordinated motion appears without any central control. From an ecological perspective, swarm movement also helps insects search for resources more effectively. By spreading across large areas while maintaining group cohesion, swarms increase their chances of locating scattered food sources. Information about favorable directions can quickly spread through the group as individuals adjust their movement based on local conditions. Researchers often study these natural systems to better understand collective behavior in complex environments.
The same principles observed in insect swarms are now used in scientific models that explore how simple rules can produce highly organized patterns. By observing how insects coordinate their actions, scientists gain insights into the broader dynamics of self-organizing systems found throughout nature. Beneath the quiet floor of a forest lies a hidden biological network that connects trees, fungi, and soil into a vast underground system. Scientists call this system the mycorrhizal network, and it plays a critical role in how forests share resources and maintain stability. Instead of growing in isolation, many trees are linked through microscopic fungal filaments that spread through the soil like natural communication cables. These fungal threads attach to plant roots and expand far beyond what the roots could reach alone. The network increases the surface area available for absorbing nutrients and water from the soil. In return for this expanded access, trees provide the fungi with carbon-rich sugars produced through photosynthesis. This exchange forms a mutually beneficial partnership where both organisms gain resources they could not easily obtain on their own. Through these underground connections, nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus can move between different parts of the forest ecosystem. If one tree has access to abundant sunlight and produces excess sugars, some of that energy may travel through the fungal network to other plants. Meanwhile, fungi help transport essential minerals from the soil to the roots of their host trees, improving overall nutrient efficiency within the ecosystem. Young trees growing beneath a dense canopy often receive indirect support through these connections. In shaded conditions where sunlight is limited, the network can help redistribute resources across the forest floor. This assistance allows seedlings and smaller plants to survive until they reach sufficient light to grow independently. By linking individual plants into a cooperative system, these underground networks contribute to the resilience of entire forests. Nutrients move more efficiently, plants gain improved access to water and minerals, and ecosystems become better equipped to adapt to environmental changes through shared biological connections.
Deep within forests, plants are far from passive. Recent research has revealed that they communicate using both electrical and chemical signals, creating a hidden network of interaction that rivals some animal nervous systems. Inside plant tissues, electrical impulses travel along specialized cells, sending rapid messages from roots to leaves. These signals can trigger changes in growth, activate defense mechanisms, or prepare distant parts of the plant for environmental stress. Unlike humans, plants do not have brains, yet these impulses function as an internal alert system that keeps the organism responsive to changing conditions. Plants also communicate externally with neighbors. When attacked by insects or facing disease, they release chemical compounds into the air or soil that serve as warnings. Nearby plants can detect these compounds and begin producing their own protective chemicals, like bitter tannins or toxins, before the threat reaches them. This early warning system increases the survival chances of the entire plant community. Environmental stressors, such as drought, heat, or nutrient scarcity, trigger additional responses. Plants can slow growth, adjust leaf orientation to reduce water loss, or redirect resources to strengthen roots.
The combination of electrical and chemical signaling allows forests to function as cooperative networks, with individual plants reacting to local and global cues in real time. These discoveries are reshaping ecology by highlighting that intelligence and communication are not limited to animals. Understanding plant signaling offers insights into ecosystem resilience, forest management, and conservation strategies. By studying these hidden networks, scientists are learning how forests maintain balance, respond to threats, and sustain life across vast landscapes, showing that even stationary organisms engage in complex interactions to survive and thrive. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the hidden wonders of our planet. If you enjoyed discovering how sky rivers, animal swarms, and underground forest networks shape our world, make sure to subscribe to Relaxing Facts Studio so you never miss an adventure. Show your support by liking this video to help it reach more curious minds, and share it on your social media to spread the awe of nature. We'd also love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment sharing what fascinated you most or the ideas this video inspired. With your support, our channel can continue uncovering nature's secrets and bringing you amazing facts for years to come.